My name is Trey Hemmingson. I'm with ServiceNow's Workforce Development and Academic Partnerships team. So we work with colleges around the globe really to give students access to our platform, to get them certified, and really give them kind of that leg up on their resume before you graduate so that you can find a career that you love. As Tim pointed out, we have quite a few majors in the room. Computer science, cybersecurity, I think I heard econ maybe in there. With what I do, I think it's important to point out that every job has the potential to become a tech job. I was an advertising major way back when I was in college. Didn't think I'd ever be working for a tech company, and now I'm doing something that I love. So a lot of what you're picking up in the courses that you're in, regardless of your major, becomes transferable skills. And we're here to help kind of paint the picture as to where you could go with ServiceNow if you're interested and talk through kind of all those opportunities. So, Tim will jump into the platform and he gets the opportunity to show you all the really cool things that we get to do with the platform, what our customers are doing, what we're doing in the AI and the Gen AI space. But really, I want to start with really what ServiceNow is. We power a lot of the back-end workflows that are critical to really every business and every type of business. If you think about IT or HR, operations, even the legal department, so many departments across companies use our platform to workflow what they're ultimately trying to do. So we make the work happen seamlessly without the need for manual intervention. So why should you care about ServiceNow? So we know that just based on our research that we've done, and this is well known just across outside of ServiceNow and across industry, there's going to be an IT skills shortage by 2025, and actually so many companies right now are facing that IT skills shortage. They can't complete their digital transformation initiatives. So they hit product delays in rolling out new applications and features. Their customers, whether that's an internal customer to their company or an external customer that they work with, they become unhappy and then they lose money as a result as a business, and that ultimately slows down the pace of deployment. So in 2023, we saw just a huge number of ServiceNow specific jobs that were being posted globally. We actually saw about 60,000 jobs per month being posted within our customer and partner ecosystem. So those are companies that are using ServiceNow. Those are our partners like the Accentures, the Deloittes, all the way down to boutique consultancies that might be focusing just only on ServiceNow. Really want to highlight that there's plenty of jobs out there and there's a lot of opportunity if you're interested. Just to kind of close out this slide, we have about 22,000 companies globally, and again, those are our customers and partners competing to fill ServiceNow specific jobs, and that's anywhere from app developers to system administrators, and even less technical roles like project managers, change management specialists, and data and business analysts as well. So I want to jump on the next slide just to some US data. So in the US alone, last year, we saw 300,000 job postings for ServiceNow specific jobs, and they had a 28-day duration. So that tells us that as soon as that job was posted, they were almost immediately filled. And when you look at the US, you can see in those bright green areas, California, Texas, the DC area, New York, several other regions across the country, those are really the hotspots for ServiceNow jobs. And I think the best part that everyone's probably honing in on this slide is that these jobs pay really well. The median salary is well over $100,000, which is just a great starting point for anyone jumping into their career. The other thing I want to point out, when you look at the US specifically, we have around 10,000 companies, again, who are competing for ServiceNow talent. And then on that next slide, we can kind of highlight those top occupations. So anywhere from support to application development, implementation consultants, again, who are working either with our customers or with a partner specifically to basically come in, consult, implement, and deploy our platform. Data analysts, your system administrators, And again, these are with those top companies, anywhere from JP Morgan Chase to Hulu to Disney Plus, and then those big partners like KPMG, Deloitte, Accenture, and again, all the way down to those boutique consultancies. So our platform really specializes in several different areas. So we can become industry specific. So maybe we're talking about a financial customer, banking customer. Maybe we're talking about UC Irvine as a customer of ours. You ought to use our platform. So Tim is heavily ingrained in the higher education space, and there's really solutions across the platform that work for everyone. So last thing that I want to leave you with before I hand it over to Tim, I'll be back, don't worry. We'll talk about certification and getting you the promo codes for that certification, is that, we power over, I think it's actually 85% now of the Fortune 500. So I'll kick it back to Tim, and he can talk to you about really what we're doing with some customers and some really cool examples of what our platform can do.
All right, thanks, Trey. So we need to get a new slide, apparently. 85% of the Fortune 500 works with ServiceNow. You heard Trey talk a little bit about some of the different areas that the platform works. I'll get a little bit more into that. So what is ServiceNow? So I like to think about ServiceNow and describe it in a way that relates to a lot of people. Smart homes are a big deal these days. A lot of people have their Amazon, their Googles, their HomeKits, or what have you. And one of the ways that ServiceNow is similar to these technologies is that it works as a platform to bring a bunch of things together. A bunch of different systems that don't talk to each other brings it together. So for instance, here, if we're taking the smart home example, you have your Google, your Alexa, whatever, as your platform. And that's going to come with some capabilities. It's going to bring you some music service. It's going to bring you some to-do lists. You'll be able to search, maybe check out your weather. And then you're also going to have access to third-party things, maybe like Spotify instead of Amazon's music. Who doesn't? And you want to use the Ring ecosystem of devices for your doorbell, or the Casa for turning on your lights and things like that. It gives you the ability to connect these things together and use them across each other. And there's also skills that you get that are things that allow you to play games or whatever. You can create routines or automations, so when this thing happens, that thing over there, door opens, the light goes on, things like that. What this allows the smart home to do is have one device from one manufacturer have one action, like you unlock your front door, and have that then create automations that turn on the light in your foyer, start playing your favorite Spotify playlist, maybe turn on your ambient lighting with the cool red LEDs or whatever your favorite color is, in your bedroom or in your kitchen or what have you. And that's all happening seamlessly by using one platform with all a bunch of different pieces. And that's exactly what the ServiceNow platform is, except that this is an enterprise. So we're talking about putting things together like AWS, a lot of the higher level human resources solutions, lots of telemetry data from IT things that are not working well, and then escalate that to a person. And really what that's doing is flipping the model from people looking at data to find out where there's a problem, to having the system throw things in our face to say, here's a problem, here's a problem, here's a problem. For a university situation, how could that be helpful? Well, maybe you don't want your registration system to crash on the first day of registration, right? Good example. I came from higher ed. I spent 18 years working at Cal Poly Pomona. I did have our registration system crash on the first day. It was not any fun, really, no fun at all. So that's the platform, the ServiceNow platform, in kind of its totality, how it spans across a lot of different tools and technologies. You see up here we have what we call our workflows. There's industry-specific things like for HR, for technology, for some of our customer workflows, and then we also have kind of like build your own. We also have a whole stack on the platform. You can build your app, and I'll show you a really cool one that our students built at Cal Poly Pomona in a minute. This is not going to be part of the test. You don't have to memorize this to win your Starbucks gift card, I promise. Really, this is an eye chart, and it's intended just to show you how broad the capabilities of the platform are. So I talked about how it ties things together, but these are all the individual units of capabilities, from employee experience, technology experience. I talked about maintaining the ability to kind of monitor your environment. Trey talked about legal service delivery. Anything where you have some sort of need to put in a request for someone to do something or for some action to occur, even if it's automated and not a human intervention there. This is what our platform does. So you saw 85% of the world's Fortune 500. In a little bit, we're going to get into a little bit more around some of the specific names. Maybe one of those will be part of the question at the end. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, like I said. But just to give you a lay of the land. So when you're looking at our platform and you're going, I don't know what this is, great. I didn't know what it was one day either, but it's grown over the years. It's got a huge footprint in higher ed and in a lot of different industries, which means that you don't have to be necessarily a technologist or into technology to have a stake in the future with ServiceNow, because the breadth of the companies that use us in all these different areas, security operations, vulnerability response, we have capabilities that manage that for you. Okay, so I'm going to get into some of the cool AI stuff we're doing in just a moment, but first, I wanted to talk about who are the companies that you could potentially work for if you had ServiceNow skills. Trey mentioned some of them, 85% of the Fortune 500, but I actually went out and did some research and just kind of looked for what are some things that are in the public space, this public domain, that I can share with you, because there's a lot I can't share because of it's not disclosed, for companies that are using ServiceNow. So, Trey mentioned Disney+. That's the ServiceNow portal. Starbucks, ServiceNow portal. Pfizer, ServiceNow portal. Now we're going into just job postings, so I couldn't find any more portals. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, but let's stay away from the tech for a minute, because we said we're not all about tech, right? So Johns Hopkins, research. AT&T, CVS Consumer Health, NVIDIA. I'll talk about that in just a second. We have a huge partnership with NVIDIA powering our AI data centers. And I went the wrong way. Princeton University, or maybe you want to do something that's a little bit more altruistic. You have a really big heart and you want to contribute in a meaningful way. You could work at places like Seattle Children's Hospital. Just a small sampling. So just because of it's looked at as a tech company, it spans many industries, and people working in these industries are using our tool set. You could work for companies whose planes you've flown on, whose hotels you've stayed in, whose apparel you've worn. The area that you can get a job is very broad. So I talked about the fact that our students at Cal Poly created an app. So this is a shuttle app. This is 100% built in ServiceNow. It doesn't look like ServiceNow. They basically didn't use any ServiceNow, anything. They just used it as an application stack because it had all the pieces they need. And they based this off of an Uber or Lyft-like experience. It's for the Bronco shuttle, the transit bus that runs around campus. And so they built this basically on their own from scratch. This was about 4 years ago, 4 or 5, a while now. It's pre-COVID. And so what you can see is, they went through the whole process of getting not only the map into the app, they have the location of the buses, real time, being drawn as they move. There's those arrows. You can choose the different routes that people are interested in seeing. Those are showing all the bus stops that look. They can search. Obviously, I wasn't on campus when I was doing this, but obviously you get the little blue dot. It'll walk you to the nearest bus stop. You can search for the different spots that you can get picked up across campus. It will create a schedule showing you the shortest distance to get there and the different types, the different buses that will be coming that you can take to get there. If I get finished typing here. And once we get that, you'll see, bing, go. Here we go. So it shows the different, approximately 8 minutes, approximately 45 minutes. So different routes that the buses can take to take you there. And then when you're all done looking at this, you can just go ahead and hit cancel. It'll show you, the pickup and the drop-off spots that you asked for. So real quick mobile app that was created on the ServiceNow platform using nothing but students and their really great ideas. All right, AI. So I know that was one of the headlines somewhere, AI. Everybody's talking about AI. You guys tired of hearing about AI yet? Generative AI, ChatGPT, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion. I mean, there's actually dozens and dozens and dozens. We just hear about like the top 6 or 7. But ServiceNow has been working in the AI space since AI became a thing. It goes back almost 10 years now. But obviously, people aren't interested in machine learning or predictive intelligence. There's nothing sexy about that. But generative AI is the big buzzword. And so ServiceNow actually has already productized generative AI and placed it in ServiceNow. And it's just the beginning. So some of the capabilities are a little, kind of things you'd expect. And I'll talk about them in a second. But we're moving forward fast. So I mentioned earlier that we have a strategic partnership with NVIDIA. NVIDIA powers our data center large language models that we use in our platform for generative AI. We also integrate with Azure OpenAI and OpenAI, and now we have Google up there as well, and others being added as soon as we can onboard them. And we use NVIDIA to power, like I said, our large language model. We built a model with Hugging Face. It's basically like if you do anything in the web where you do kind of completion, you give it a little prompt and it gives you like the rest. That's what our NVIDIA powered large language model does. But it's specific to ServiceNow. So over here we have things that are good at summarization, context, understanding. They're very broad. This is domain specific. This just does everything on our platform because we're the experts on the platform. So when you do code, you're getting the code from the guys who coded the platform. That's going to be generated for that. But we don't just do code. So I mentioned kind of some of the early capabilities. Summarization, like I said, that's something that all generative AI is really good at, right? So imagine if you are talking to someone, chatting with them, customer service or whatever, it's your phone bill, it's your orders later, what have you. And how many times have you got that, oh, I need to transfer you to someone else? And then that person comes on and says, give me a couple minutes to get caught up on what you've said already. Well, with our generative AI, which we labeled as Now Assist because we got the brand for everything, the platform will do that for the person. So here we see on the right this sidebar where they could say, please summarize this case. And it will go through all the content of this case or this ticket or whatever it is, and it will summarize it and give them just the relative facts, like what the issue was initially, the steps that have been tried so far, and kind of what the current status is. That also works for when somebody's working a case, not just a chat, but like an actual case. They come in, they've done this for a while, and they've got 3 pages, they don't want to read it all. Boom, quick, little succinct, here's what happened, here's what we tried, did it work or not? So that's kind of the first thing that we came out with, summarization, and that works across all of our products. But something else that we also have is code assist. So type in a prompt, it'll generate the code for you. You can see right here. So it's so clear, right? You could just copy and paste that into any browser, and it would go ahead and execute that code. Not really. But essentially, what it's showing is, just check the data for this condition, and it generated all the code that would perform that action. And that's going to be 95% because it's in our platform. We know what we're doing. It's not something out there on the web somewhere. So that's increasing productivity for our programmers and our developers and our customers who have programmers and developers as well. But this is the next step. It's flow generation. Flow Designer is what we call our automation platform, our workflow tool. And so now we're at a point where you can type in the same type of prompts to get an entire workflow. So this is actually in the ServiceNow platform. This is the actual tool I was just telling you about. So these are some fairly large and robust workflows. You can see this one is, I'm not going to tell you what it is, just know that this is how long, and they can get even longer too. It's very much logic-based, branching and things, and a lot of people don't like that view, so we created this more diagram-friendly Visio-type visualization for how these things draw, so you can kind of follow them along. But it gets pretty robust. But to start, we can get something very simple as a shell. Let me go ahead and get my prompt here, because I hate typing in front of people. Just create a new one. So with this, when a ticket is open, send an email to the manager of the person who opened the ticket. Very simple. And now this is going into our data center using our large language model that we've built purposely based on our platform. And it is real time looking at that prompt, and it's creating a shell of the workflow that I need to get that job done. It's very simple compared to the one I showed you a minute ago. But you can see it's already pulled out whether an incident is created, it needs to look up a record, then it needs to send an email. So just as an example, these are the baby steps of generative AI, not just in ServiceNow, but in our world. I mean, this is going to transform, in my opinion, my humble opinion, everything that we do from here forward. It's like the information revolution is over. Now we're into the intelligence revolution.
I probably won't use the slides here. I'll probably just demo this in Now Learning. These slides will make sure that we leave behind with the Hub team, just that you can use kind of as a way to set up your account and answer any questions that you might all have. Now Learning is our learning experience platform that really houses all of the course content that our customers, our partners, or even you as a student would go to learn about the platform, learn about specific product suites that Tim called out, and then ultimately in certain areas get certified on the platform so that you can add that certification to your resume. So a few things I want to point out. Like I said, this is our learning experience platform. The cool thing is this is actually built on a ServiceNow instance. So as Tim kind of showed you with the different applications, the different products, there's a lot of flexibility in how we actually can use the platform to our advantage. So when we look at, where we're navigating for the first time when you land on Now Learning, a popular place that I would recommend going to are these career journeys. And what career journeys are a combination of both technical skills that you might need specific to ServiceNow, but then also a combination of power skills. So, power skills are what we consider to be kind of the soft skills of yesterday. So how to collaborate effectively, how to run an effective meeting, et cetera. So we actually just announced a partnership with Udemy today. So if you jump into any of these career journeys, let's use application developer, for example. When you jump in, you can actually see, what an application developer does for ServiceNow, what kind of the transferable skills look like, what you might need to build on, and then you can level up from kind of this entry-level associate all the way to an expert application developer. So when you open up these different career journeys, and I'm already enrolled in this one, you can click to see all of the content that we recommend in really leveling up in your career. So any of these white tiles are going to be ServiceNow specific courses that are in Now Learning. Anything that's blue is technically optional. Like I said, that's a combination of the Udemy courses. That's going to be also, engagement opportunities for getting involved in our community, which is like I'd call it like our own Reddit, where we can actually go in and collaborate with other people who might be using ServiceNow, who might be our customers, who might be implementing ServiceNow. Quite a few people. I think we have over 500,000 people in the community as of last month. So you can kind of see, again, those courses that would be recommended. Anything that you would want as a student is actually going to be included for you with the promo code that I'm about to share with you. So you can actually get access to all of this content for the white tiles specifically through June 30th with the promo code. So if I wanted to jump in and say, look at, let's go to our application development fundamentals course. You could jump into the course, and generally this course is a $300 course for the public, or if you wanted to take it as instructor-led, I think it's a significant charge for that course, but you're receiving it as UCI students for free. And then also if there's a certification voucher attached to it, you'll receive that as well for free. So really would encourage you, if you're interested in taking these certifications, going out, taking a look at the content, and then you can also dive into each specific course and look at what you're going to be learning. So when I look at application development fundamentals, if I go ahead and start this course, it's going to make me agree to all the fun terms and conditions.
Trey, I didn't think you read all that.
I know, right? I'm a fast reader. So when you enroll in the course, there's actually lab instances, ServiceNow platform instances that are built into each course. So if you request your lab instance, you're going to be able to actually jump into, complete these lab tasks that are part of the course over here on the left. You're going to be able to learn kind of the fundamentals of, in this case, application development. And there's going to be tasks where you go through, you complete a specific action, and you just validate that you completed it correctly. Then there's quizzes built in just to make sure that you are tested on your knowledge. And then at the end of this, as you complete the course, you're issued a certification voucher. So with that certification voucher, like I said, those are valid through June 30th. You'll just want to make sure that you go in and click the claim button on your profile. And that will allow you to actually claim that voucher, and you'll have the ability to use it for up to a year from the date that you claim it. All right, so the one last thing that I want to leave you with, and Tim, maybe we could just jump to that slide that has the promo code on it. So that promo code, the UCI 2024 Hub, you can use that when you go to pay for the course. And like I said, that gives you free access to the course itself, and then allows you to actually get that voucher and claim it before June 30th. We'll have all of this. I think our other friend Tim has built out a really awesome guide that shows you everything that I just covered. But I'd really encourage you to check out those career journeys. Check in with the entrepreneur team, and if you have questions on specific courses or need a better idea of what we might recommend, we can always have a conversation and point you to a few specific courses as well.
And one thing just to note is for this code to work, you have to use your uci.edu email address when you register.
Yes, good point. I think that's all.
Yeah, this is all just how-tos.
Yeah, one thing on the lab instances. So like I said, those platform instances are attached to each of those courses. So if you're taking multiple courses, just make sure that you don't mix and match those lab instances. They're configured specifically to the course. That last slide, Tim, that I have is just going to walk through kind of some extra, FYIs, supplemental information. We've got our product docs site. We've got our Rise Up with ServiceNow site, which is really our commitment to skilling 1 million people on the platform and really supporting growth within individual growth as well as customer and partner growth so that they can complete their objectives. So I will leave you all with that. If you have any questions, I'm still here, but if not, I hope you all enjoy your tacos.
No, give them a round of applause. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm also curious if there's questions, and please. I want to know what the coolest part of this is for you.
And
as well.
also the lamest part. Be honest. No, seriously. I mean, this is tough to pull off, and we're trying to hit the mark, but by looking at your faces, I feel like we maybe missed it a little bit. Yeah, what's your question?
My question, so correct me if I'm wrong, but just I want to make sure I'm grasping.
Sure.
Right? So ServiceNow is a place where companies could go to streamline their own software, and then also ServiceNow has their own outside of that, they have their own tools. Is that what it is, or
Perfect. You just got our platform pitch. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So essentially, when we talk to our customers, it's not rip and replace. That's what terminology when you talk about going in, taking out some tool or technology they have and replacing it with something else. It can be if it's really old or antiquated, but a lot of times it's a better together, where you're talking about. So if they have existing systems, but they can't really get them to talk to each other, they can bring us in as the activation, that we call it the system of action layer, that can orchestrate work across all their systems and then raise the value of those investments that they don't have time to replace because they're so costly. So yeah, exactly like you said. They have their own stuff and we bring our own stuff, and they can do a mishmash or whatever they want and build something completely from scratch. If we don't have a product that does what they need it to, we give them the tools. You can go ahead and create your own workflows and forms to go ahead and support that need. Thank you for the question. And I said I'd tell you a little bit about what a solutions consultant is later, and I never did, so I'll take that opportunity now, because that's what I do. I work with my account manager. He's a salesperson. I'm the technical person, so I don't sell. I talk about the platform. I explain the capabilities. So I go to customers, say, what are your problems? What are you struggling with? Where can you need to get some help? I'll listen to that. I'll go back. I'll look at the platform. I'll find out how the platform could solve their problems, and then I demonstrate to them that exactly happening. So that's what a solution consultant does, and that's a role that you could play working for ServiceNow, but as Trey was talking about earlier, we have a huge partner ecosystem, and we have people you can pay that work at ServiceNow to help you implement it, but really we rely on a huge partner ecosystem, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, and a lot of those smaller boutique partners as well that do that work. So they have all of these roles as well: business process analyst, solution consultant, architects, data architects, software engineers, all those things. So you don't necessarily work for ServiceNow. You could work for a partner, or you could do all those things within a company. As a solution consultant, that is our number one answer. It depends. It depends on how long, how much time you put into it, but it'll tell you when you log in that it estimates, this will be 12 hours, or this will be 14 hours, because these are on-demand courses, so they're not instructor-led, they're do-it-your-own pace. And those certifications, those are money. Everybody who I know who works in the industry has a certification of some sort, at least the base, what we call a CSA, the Certified Systems Administrator, and everything kind of builds off of that. So that is some really good stuff that you can take and get marketable, pretty darn quick. The other thing I'll mention is that there are those lab instances we talked about that come with those courses. They're specifically tuned to help you with the deliverables of the specific course. There's also, just go get your own kind of vanilla instance. We have personal developer instances. If you go to developer.servicenow.com, Anybody, just sign up. It doesn't even need to be UCI EDU email address. Anybody can go sign up and get their own instance of the platform to go play around with, kick the tires. Documentation site is the best I've seen of any company that has software. I mean, it's just top notch.